Hello, good evening. It's High Priestess Jamila. So I got more love advice and mainly for the woman. And y'all knew I was gonna come and go hard for y'all today. Yes, because I'm a woman. So why not? Okay. And so I did one video for the men, and now I'm doing a couple of videos for Friday love advice for the women. So women, let's say that it is true. Let's say that it is the truth that you connected or fell in love with or was manipulated by, oh, what do they call them? Fuck boys? I don't know if they call them fuck boys, but basically what this man did was played you. Okay? Pretty much did a bunch of things that you never would accept in the world. Pretended that maybe it's possible that he could have a mental illness. Okay, and I'm gonna go into that further in a few. Okay, did things that he knows that he shouldn't have done. Okay, betrayed you, and then all of a sudden, when you expressed your emotions behind it, all of a sudden he want to jump ship and abandon you permanently, permanently and for good. Okay, he said it's for good. He did all those things to you, and when you struck back at him, now he's all of a sudden a victim, and he done with you. And he still got the audacity to be trying to pretend to be a prize, which is what really sucks. Because, that would denote a person being very smug. You know what I'm saying? Somebody, and I'm talking to the ladies that have actually fell in love and had feelings for the man, right? Okay, let's say that he did that. That would be messed up on so many levels. Oh my God, can you imagine? Can you imagine being a woman that was in love with a man that seriously was just full of crap, never cared about you, had an agenda against you or something? I don't know what that agenda would be, but my God, that would be awful. That would be freaking awful. Guess what? Here's a reason to pick yourself up and keep it moving. And that doesn't mean sleeping with another man. Okay? That's slut talk. That means that you are angry and that you make emotional decisions just like he does. Okay? That would mean that you don't have control over your head, your heart, or your ass. Okay? So let's say that happened. This person was a complete imposter. He was a complete fraud, a total fraud, never gave a damn about you, was pretending to love you. And you actually loved him, but he was pretending. Okay? And he says something cold and slick to you, you know, trying to act as if you lost something. Let him know that, wow, if that's I'm letting you know first because he could have you wrapped up in his man web of deceit. And you might be emotional. He done moved in for the kill because some of them just like to take you through this cycle because, that's what they were taught or either that's just what they think of love. But you honestly love that person. And you told him that. And you said and you know what I'm saying? And they up in your face trying to act like it was a joke, that your love was a joke to them. Hmm. I'm gonna tell you, and then you can relay this message to him at that point. You wasn't a prize anyway, hon. How dare you still pretend to be a prize? Right? So what did you lose? Nothing. In fact, you gained. You gained, didn't you? Yep. And I'm guessing, is that a thing for males to run around the earth and find women that are capable of unconditional love and then try to destroy them and their ability to love? Is this some kind of game that's happening? Well, I'm gonna let y'all in on a little secret, okay? And it's actually not much of a secret, but I'm gonna let y'all in on this one right here. A man like that is a total violation of life itself. And more than likely, a man like that does not even respect human life, let alone love. So, this is a man that will probably shortly, in very soon, will die without you. You know, he must be seeing his death coming or something. So, he getting ready to be gone anyway. He ain't gonna be around too much longer. I believe that Venus, Aphrodite, Lucifer, whatever you want to call, whatever you want to call it, okay? I believe he getting ready to get taken out. For somebody to play around with love like that and not appreciate it, and for somebody to play around with your heart, and for somebody that would even think about doing something like that, and then for you to actually love this man, for you to actually love that man. Think about how big love is, and you actually did love that man. And for him to kind of make it seem like he was a joke anyway. Oh, you can get over him fast. You can get over somebody like that fast. Oh, because you know what? A lot of these, and I don't understand why a lot of these men want to run around here and act like the Joker, which it's really a turn off. Like, be yourself, be a real person. The Joker is not a real person. But they look at Marvel comics and stuff, and they just don't know how to find themselves. But you know, they made a decision to play around with your heart and disintegrate you, and you genuinely love that person, that man, with all your heart. Well, first of all, let him know, hun, you are no prize. But I want you to know why he is not a prize and why you should not feel despair over him. You should never feel despair over somebody with such a lack of respect for love. It ain't about him respecting you. It's not about how he feels about you. At that point, at that point, it's bigger than you. You have to look at it like that. This is a man that is in violation. Totally. And he may tell himself that he's not in violation, but he actually is in violation. He violated the rules of love. And you know what? To be honest with you, I don't believe that a man that behaves that way, that treats his lovers like that, I don't believe a man like that is going to live much longer. I'd say that that would be a sign that he getting ready to get taken out. That would be a foolish, foolish man that would take for granted a woman that actually loved him. But, maybe the chips may fall, and the chips may fall in the direction of him exposing himself as just being a low down, dirty rat, right? He ain't nothing to cry over anyway. He ain't nothing to give a damn about anyway. And you know what I would do? I would immediately start working on him. Immediately. I would immediately curse him. Okay? I would immediately curse him. And it would even be okay for you to put a death curse on him too, because a man like that shouldn't be running around here. A man like that is not even capable of being a good father. Listen, men that would harm any woman in that way should not be trusted as a father. They shouldn't. They're incapable of love. Everybody around that man should be concerned about what they have in their presence, because that's evil. That is the true face of evil. Now, one thing I was thinking about for some reason, because I ran across a comment on my page and they were talking about this lady who, acts out and is, everybody assumes she's she's mentally ill. Let me tell you something about mental illness. Mental illness is not a moral issue, guys. A mental illness is a mental illness is a mental illness. There are people out here that have paranoid schizophrenia and they don't commit crimes against humanity. So, being mentally ill, even narcissistic, does not automatically give you a pass on the way that you're treating the people that are close to you. I noticed that mentally ill people, when they're acting out, they think they can use their mental illness diagnoses as some kind of excuse for their behavior. But actually, that's not the truth. They can't. Now, there are all sorts of situations and scenarios that can happen. I don't know why a man would be flippant and disrespectful and having a total meltdown and disrespecting you and raging against you and saying all kinds of evil to you. Maybe perhaps somebody drugged his food. He could be on drugs, possibly, because the behavior can be so erratic and the way he's speaking to you can be so erratic. He possibly could need some milk of some sort, or maybe a cup of coffee dumped on top of his damn head. My point is that you have no reason to hold on to your love that you feel for someone like that. And when it boils down to it, when he comes to grips with the things that he said to you, then you no longer have to have the burden of trusting him, because trusting somebody like that is exhausting. And you have he's a joke anyway. You have no reason to be sad. In fact, it's time for you to completely emotionally disconnect from the situation. Take your power back, because somebody like that is a parasite. So you have to ask yourself, did you build me up this whole time? especially a man that done broke you off with some money, paid your bills, did a lot for you. Was this really some weirdness? And I don't know where they're doing that on planet Earth. I've never heard of that. I think they call it the narcissistic abuse cycle, right? It still wouldn't make any sense because what will that do for them? Is that some kind of play so that they can feed off of you emotionally or something? Is he an emotional vampire? Well, this is where you have to kind of look at him and you have to take power after you've told him, "Hey, listen, I do love you." Cuz you're being honest. I do love you. I'm not in love with you right now, but I do love you. And maybe we can at least be cordial in this situation. And he's raging and wilding, acting like a sadistic freakazoid, acting like he ain't never been your lover, acting like he wasn't just in your bed with you, kissing you over and over again, acting like a complete stranger. If that's how you really feel, then guess what? You're not worthy of the air that you're even breathing. To send a woman through that would be awful. That would literally make you a monster. Hey, sissy, that would make you a monster. I would venture out to say that a man is at risk of death of heart attack. His heart must be dying to do some stuff like that, to violate you in that way. That's a violation of mass proportion. That would make him a total fraud. Because that's it. After all, that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to be a player, right? He's trying to play some sick game. Well, some games are dangerous to the person that's playing them because you don't play around with love. You don't have some poor girl thinking that you actually gave a damn and you never did. He must be getting ready to pass away. That's the truth of supernatural causes or something, because what in the world is, excuse me, why are you acting like you never loved me? Oh, you pretended that wow, so this has all been a wow. Wow. I gave you my body and my soul and my time. Let me get all that back. Let me get all that back. You can take that back, right? Mm-hmm. I wouldn't, and if he did die, I wouldn't even cry. Miss him for what? Missing somebody takes your time. I would immediately, I wouldn't immediately go out and sleep with somebody. No, that's only what sluts do. Uh-uh. I would immediately take back all the time that he stole from you, because he would have to be a thief at heart, a fool, a vagabond. Only a foolish person would spend all that time building you up only to let you down. But don't let him let you down. This is the mistake a lot of women make, because he could have been playing games that whole time. Just running around here like a chicken with his head cut off, just doing the fool. Those are, if a man does something like that, that's inexplicable. That's inexplicable. You know what the first thing that you need to do if you really loved him? You need to consider yourself the luckiest woman in the world because you had the capability to love this fool. So that means that means wow. That means something big must be getting ready to come to you. You getting ready to be blessed. Don't take it as a negative all the time, especially if you done already did the work. Especially if you got yourself covered and especially if things are going the right way for you. He must have just threw himself under a bus, especially if things are going well for you and you feeling good and you don't feel that feeling that your intuition tells you that something is just not quite right. Okay. And if he says, oh, well, I didn't mean anything, if you just kind of sit back and say, and think about it. And if he comes back and he says, well, I didn't mean anything, I said I was just angry, you know, probably a good idea to go ahead and break it off with him for good. But if you don't want to make any rash decisions or quick decisions, then I guess you'd have to see what he does and see. These days, it used to be a sign that if a man gave you his money or whatever, it used to be a sign that if he cried or gave you certain signs that maybe he is being genuine. But is it possible that there are actual human beings out here that do things like that? Because if it is, he's not actually a human male. That would make him some kind of species that is uncomprehensible. I couldn't even comprehend a person like that would do something like that. Maybe perhaps his time on this planet has come to an end. I can't imagine a man doing all of those things for you, setting up a scenario that of which the relationship wouldn't survive or either have problems, and then coming at you as if you never mattered to him. Are there men actually out there playing those games? You're welcome, Elegant Roses. Is it like, what would that be about exactly? What would he have to gain from that? Because he wouldn't gain anything. They call Venus Aphrodite the goddess of love and war for a reason. Because if you violate love to that capacity, and you got some bad karma coming. You know what I mean? That's crazy. Like you, and a lot of women, they would feel like their heart has been ripped out for somebody to do something like that. And we're not talking about women that don't have the capacity to love, right? We're talking about a woman that loved that man truly with all her heart and soul. All I gotta say is wow. I would be speechless. You know what? In fact, you wouldn't have to do it right away, but a lot of you women, depending on the situation that you in, you may have to spring into action real quick. And I wouldn't ignore that. I would get guidance from my spirit guides on that. I would say, does he really mean this? Ultimately, is this the totality of the situation? Did this man actually ever love me or care about me? And I would give it a few days of readings. I give it a day or two. maybe, depending on the timing. And if he never actually loved you at all and was actually sick enough, like that would, like that's beyond sick, then what I would do is I would jump into action. That person would need to be cursed. And you truly need to focus on your vampiric side as a woman. That's when it's time for you to drain him. I'm sorry. Trust me, you be doing the world a favor, because that would mean that he's a predator. That, I mean, that would have to be rare. Is that rare? Because I just couldn't imagine somebody being that stupid and awful at the same time. He would have to be an awful, awful person. Or either maybe on drugs or something. You know, I can't imagine. Like, here's what I'm trying to figure out for something like that to happen. What kind of monsters do we have out here walking amongst us? My second question would be, is that actually a human male? What species is he? Because I believe in that. I believe in that. I really honestly do. I believe that if that is the case, especially if that is the case, what do we have walking around this earth that should not be here? Because that just wouldn't make any sense. And that's one of those things where you'd be like, well, you was just telling me you love me last week, and why, like, and over something silly and petty, you're behaving as if you never loved me or cared about me. I'm so confused about this. Like, seriously. Again, the only guidance that I could give to you, because a lot of people want a better understanding, the highest level of understanding that I can give you is that maybe he was born a human male, but perhaps his mind got taken over by aliens. That's the only thing I can think of, is that he literally is not human anymore. Like, he turned into some kind of alien being who would actually think, first of all, that you're supposed to be upset over a man who literally had the most precious gift in the world, which was real love. And he knew you loved him. And he decided to do what with that love? Something's not adding up here. Forget demons. We talking about aliens. We talking about aliens. And then he still got the nerve to be arrogant as if he was a prize. He must have some kind of bad juju on him or something, because that would be insanity. Probably more than likely make him a maniac. This maniac that you have been laying down with. Wow. Listen, and I'm saying this to young women as well. He is not worth you being in pain over him. Do you understand me? He is not worth it. Don't wait. And I'm not, and so a lot of people will think, well, They think in the terms of vengeance. No, give yourself time to heal. Just light your little healing candle or whatever. But he's not worth your grief. He's not. He's not worth you. Looking back at the relationship, or looking back even at the time that y'all spent together, it's not even worth missing those times. I mean, you can get over him real easy. And I would cut the cord, and I would cut him off, and I would take back every drop of energy that he took from you. Sometimes when you start taking back your energy and your power, they'll pop back up trying to feed. I'm trying to figure out if a man like that is a parasite or something. Is he a slug? Because what would be the purpose of that? Especially if you spent even a year of your life with him, but a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. What are you? That you would spend years of your life. I don't think a man should act ambiguous like that. I don't think anybody should. I think that something bad is getting ready to happen to that man. You should never play around with love like that, because you don't know how much of a precious gift that love was. And for you to take it for granted, I don't see good things coming for you. Nothing good is coming from somebody that exploits love in that way. And so you better, I mean, if he means what he's saying and he just ain't, having an episode, then I wouldn't put too much stock in it. Have you a nice dinner, get you some chocolate or something, or some cookies, and um, pamper yourself. You know what I'm saying? And just love on yourself. Do a self-love spell, right? That's very therapeutic. And it's not that you didn't love yourself, it's just that you need that extra, that sometimes takes back the love that you put out, that exchange of energy that you gave to this person that is that stupid. But please don't ever look at him as a prize. And some of them will even do things as crazy as throwing another woman up in your face. I wouldn't care. I would dead every intention that he has. I would. Yeah, I wouldn't do it. Mm-hmm. Oh, trust me, they will, especially Lucifer. Uh, that yeah, absolutely, absolutely. For somebody to try to use love to try to break somebody, or to try to use love as a weapon, oh, he going down. He going down real fast. He's like a he's like a train going 175 miles per hour into a brick wall. He's getting ready to implode. That's horrible, especially when you didn't deserve that. Love is precious to you as a woman. You don't deserve to hurt over somebody like that. Because honestly, you can miss the person and say, "Oh my God, I'm going to miss this person." But who was that person? Curse them all. They all cursed anyway. Somebody that would do that, but that doesn't mean that you can't curse them even further. In fact, what you can simply do is everything that you did to me that was meant to destroy me. I send back to you, is what you do. But I wouldn't just say it, I would do it. In fact, I would do a alchemy. This is making me want to create some stuff. A alchemy love bottle, a alchemy heartbreak bottle. Everything that this man tried to do and everything he took from me, I give back everything to him. I give back all of the negativity, the negative results, the negative effects of what he did. He's going to end up probably whatever it was that he did or caused in your life, maybe money loss, maybe visits to the emergency room because you thought you was having a heart attack because he hurt you so bad, he flipped on you like that. And it may have made your heart skip a beat and or it gave you tachycardia or something like that. Give all that back to him. All of it. And take back all of the good things that you would have had he not bought his low down, dirty scoundrel self into your life. And I would burn that alchemy bottle every day. A man, like, especially if he's an older man and he's still acting like that. Oh, wow, this person has probably been destroying people for years, or at least trying to. I feel like a man that would do something like that, that would play a love game with your heart, I personally feel that he would deserve to die of a heart attack. That's my opinion. People may say that I'm immoral because of that. Oh, well, because at that point, he's committed just about every crime against you. He scammed you, he's conned you. You've given him your most precious gift, and he's guilty of rape. You shouldn't have to feel sad because of that. In fact, as many years as he spent with you, you need to take back all those years. I would calculate the hours. How many hours is in 5 years, or 10 years, or 20 years? Because that ain't love. It's not. You may have loved him. I think people don't actually consider what the ramifications of unrequited love could be and the devastation that it can have on the person that couldn't reciprocate the love that they were given and the love that they chose to exploit. So you don't have anything to worry about. In fact, good things more than likely should be happening for you, right? If something ain't, if it's not, then you're not doing work. That's why I feel like women, you should know something about witchcraft. And because I swear to you, a lot of times these men will do stuff like that and they'll have you sitting at home, your heart will feel all heavy. You don't even deserve to go through that. Mm-mm. In fact, I've seen men do things like this, and you're right, Elegant Roses. It'll be shame on him, it'll be shame on the woman. But really, in reality, all that shame and guilt needs to go on him. Because what the hell was you doing here anyway? So you telling me that I fell in love with a op? Wait a minute, excuse me, sir. You're the fakest person walking the earth. You ain't gonna never see love like this in your life. Ever. And you had the audacity to think that you was winning or good things were gonna happen for you. Did you really think that? Because it's not. He gonna have to go through something. Something gonna happen. I can promise you, especially if his love was disingenuous, nobody should ever be out there pretending to love somebody for any reason. Mm-mm. He's fresh out of excuses at that point. He's fresh out of excuses at that point. In fact, he's going to be quite miserable. He can only pretend to be happy. A man like that is already miserable. He's not a happy camper. He's not. He can put on a fake plastic smile. He can pretend that he's living it up. But in reality, he's somebody that would do something like that has a literal dead heart, and he can't experience no kind of joy or happiness. And I don't believe he's going to live much longer, because the love that you was given to him, why couldn't he absorb it? That's just like eating a whole bunch of food but not being able to absorb the nutrients of the food that you're eating. He literally was given the gift of real love but denied himself. So when you look at love logically and you break it down to that, and it's been confirmed that this man was full of crap, you have no reason to be sad or to suffer at all. Because most of the time when that happens, the person suffers. But I think that the suffering, I think you want to be careful. I'm serious. Be careful with that, because if you are a person that genuinely loved that person, and it was not like an egotistical love, because let's face it, a lot of love is egotistical, it's based on ego, it's not real. But if you genuinely loved a person that treated you that way, then you have nothing to worry about. Now, a lot of them will be practicing witchcraft, and they'll be trying to, like I said, drifting back to the women that are around them, his mama, his cousins, his sisters, his aunties. They could be witches, and they have it out for you, right? And they'll be trying to artificially punish you for the stupidity that he committed, the frauds that he committed. And so you may have to do some work because it could be artificial. And you got to have somebody that knows necromancy. You better know something about necromancy at that point. And stay present. Ground yourself. Because you've been looking in the face of literal evil. For a man to degrade you and betray you and flirt with other women in front of you and disgrace you, and for you to tell him that exact thing, you did those things to me and I genuinely loved you, and for him to act like a clown in a clown suit, and to act and for him to abandon you like you were nothing, I would check and make sure that everything is okay. Now, a lot of y'all need love protection anyway, because I guess there's people out there doing that. That's the dumbest thing in the world. And I mean, what is that? Is that the acts of somebody that's the that's pure stupidity and ignorance. And just like what Elegant Roses said, what is this, some kind of conspiracy? And you do got to be careful with them conspiracies. That would mean that you need to get, yeah. And always make sure that you keep your money intact. Always, as a woman, Always make sure you got your own money or you got some money put away. Goodness gracious. I guess I'm going to say this before I go. We must have real life monsters amongst us on this planet. Because goodness gracious. Especially being that there is no prize. Not only is he not a prize. Oh, okay, Ashley, I see you. Not only is he not a prize, but he doesn't have any prizes coming to him either. For somebody to sit around and do something like that, yeah, that's not normal at all. Not for a human male. A human male is going to have some kind of scruples about himself, and he's going to think about it. He's going to say, this. He's going to be connected to the love that you felt for him, and he's going to be like, well, this person did. I mean, that's just weird to me. That's like Twilight Zone weird, ain't it? Ground yourself, light pink candles, you know what I mean? Or either blue candles. Blue candles are very healing, but I found the color pink candles. My preference on healing candles is because, even though he's fake and he's a fraud, you're still experiencing real heartbreak, possibly. And it really, really depends because I've actually seen men take you through that cycle over and over and over again. I've actually seen men do that. And for them to turn out to be a total fraud, like, how is that possible? And, at some point, I think that the cycle does need to end. I do. If a man keeps taking you through that cycle, of I love you not, I love you, I love you not, that could be a sign of, something wrong with him. He apparently is very defective. That's a defective human being. Cause I can promise you, I know men, and don't you dare judge other men after that. Th- that's not just about being a man. It's not, because men, like I'm wondering if they dropped off a bunch of aliens on the earth, and that really don't even exist. Does this person really exist? Because men actually do appreciate the love that they were given by a woman. I don't know. I don't see any species. You'd have to be something altogether different to not be able to appreciate love that somebody gave you. That's just weird to me. That's off. In fact, I would take control. If you feel like you've confirmed that that's the way that he is, I would take back control of my own mind, and I wouldn't even be thinking about him. I would completely cut off any kind of connection with him if that's the case. Okay, that's pretty much my last TED talk of the day. I think that's going to be my last TED talk. I mean, the last thing I'm going to say is that if somebody is that fake, the real one is coming along shortly. That's all I got to say. Okay. All right. Y'all have a lovely evening. Peace and love to you guys. And if nobody told you they love you today, High Priestess Jamila does. And y'all have a good one. Okay. Make sure y'all hit that thumbs up too, and subscribe, like, share. Okay. All right, guys. Blessings. Bye bye.